Hello, sisters. Welcome to another episode of the Whole Self Sisters, a place for you to be healed and whole. I'm Rahil, and I'm on a journey of self-discovery. And if you are on a similar journey and you don't want to go through it alone, let's be friends, and please press the subscribe button. So I would like to talk about something that I felt while going through my journey of self-discovery. And in here, I would like to refer to how Freud described the human psyche. So Freud said that we have three different systems inside of us. So these three systems, first, there is the ego, which is the conscious part of us. It's the part that we present ourselves to other people, and the part that we do understand how it reacts and interacts with the world. And then there is the superego, and then there is the ID. Now, the superego borders on what is known as the pre-conscious, while the ID is in the unconscious part. And I would I'll talk about them both, but I would start with the superego. So the superego is a part of you that tells you what to do, what you should be doing, and how you can improve, and that should not hurt other people, and you should do good. And it is the sound of morality inside your head. It could also be the critical voice in your head. It depends on what kind of messages that you received when you were young, and what kind of parenting that you also received as you were a child. So let's say if you had a very critical parent, probably that voice in your head will be very critical and very patronizing as well. But if you had, more gentle and compassionate and parents who guided you in a very wise way, then probably that voice will not be as critical as it is for someone who had, let's say, critical parents. And the thing is that the superego is not only limited to the influence of parents, but it also encompasses anyone who you perceived as authority when you were young. So your teachers, your religious leaders, anyone who you considered as your hero growing up. It could have some sort of an interjection in the back of your mind that would tell you that you need to do A and not do B, and you should be doing something other than what you're doing right now. So that is the superego. And then we have the ID. The ID is the part where you have all your desires, you have all your instinctual and primal drives. It has those subconscious motivations that you are unaware of, and you are unaware of them for a good reason, because somehow that part of you was repressed or rejected, or even unaccepted when you were growing up. And this has a lot to do with, of course, the society that you grew up in, the religious beliefs that you have, and that also other beliefs that you adopted in your family of origin, the kind of parenting that you received. So the nature and nurture, in my opinion, do play a very important part. And in here, what I would like to focus on this video is that one way for you to be able to discover what lies in your unconscious is to hold judgment, because like I said, every part of us has or holds a function, otherwise they will not be there. So and their function mainly centers on keeping us safe. So there is a reason why those parts are unknown to us, and they only come out when we are somehow triggered. And Therefore, if you would like to meet some of these parts that are buried very deep in your psyche, the attitude that you need to develop while interacting with them is that of total acceptance and total compassion, and to stay away from judgment. And I know it can be very hard, especially if you see in yourself a part that, let's say, rages when they're angry, and you grew up learning that being angry is a bad thing, and only people who have no self-control who can go and become rageful, or that that you need to be able to keep the peace and not make any kind of conflict. So it is very hard for you to accept that there is a certain part in you that yearns to create conflicts in order for it to be able to be seen. And in here, like I said, it's important to hold that judgment. Holding it off means that you do not deem that part of you as bad or as unevolved, or that it shouldn't be there, because it is there. And if you want to deal with your rage and your anger issues, you need to understand why it is there and what function does it serve. Let's say it is there because at one time in your life, it was able to save you from a very dangerous situation, or you were able to exercise its function, let's say, to save someone, or to prevent some sort of an injustice happening. It might have happened once, but that part is still there, and it remembers that I'm here because I can keep this person safe, because if I'm not here, then this person might be trampled on, or it might be unable to stand up for themselves. And so the first step is to understand that there is no right and wrong, and there is no bad or good. Everything is on a spectrum, and everything is based on context. Like, for example, the being in a state of anger and rage is probably, when things are peaceful, is not appropriate. However, if there is an injustice happening, then it is pretty much acceptable for you to be angry and to use that anger in a way that can erase or release that harm, whatever that is. So that was the process that I went through, that I had to go through each layer and to each part of me, and not have a judgmental way of looking at it, but to see it in terms of functionality. What is it serving, and what needs does it have? For example, in our case about the rage, then this person, in order for them to not perpetuate this cycle of unconscious rage, is to develop assertiveness in their daily life, and to be able to have boundaries, and to be able to let's say, not people please, or to have a stronger self-expression. And this way, they will be able to integrate that part of them that was that very angry and rageful part with their, let's say, very peaceful demeanor in their daily life. And with that, they can integrate that part, and they become someone better, someone who understands the value of peace, because they know the amount of disruption that they can cause with their anger or other people's anger. Because once you understand the power that you hold inside of you, you also understand that other people hold the similar power. And it's not a matter of power dynamics here or a power struggle, but how we can extend compassion to ourselves and to other people so that we can bring in them the best expression of themselves. I hope this was useful. If you have any experience transmuting any part of your shadows into an integrated and functional part of your conscious, please comment, and let's share the stories of finding yourselves and meeting yourselves. Thank you, and have a wholesome day. Hope to meet you again in another episode.